welcome to Gail's Garden Herbs and More. Actually, welcome to Gail's Garden Kitchen. Okay, I cleaned out the lower part of my freezer, my little freezer. And I found some old meat, some kind of a little bit freezer burnt, and some other things. And I thought, well, okay, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to try to figure out what I'm going to do with it. I don't want to just throw it away. And I found these little bacon ends and pieces and stuff, so I cooked that up. And I'm going to take some of what I'm going to do is I make my own dog food sometimes. And I'm going to take some of this bacon grease and pour in here. Now, it's cooled for a little bit, so it's not super hot going in there. You don't want to do that on a cold glass. You might break it. But it has been sitting and cooling a while. So I poured this bacon grease down, and I'm going to kind of get it around the edges. And I'm going to make some dog food with it because it's really not bad. It's just not tasty like it used to be. Okay, another thing that I have are some eggs that I dried, but I really don't think I got them quite dry enough. So I'm not going to try to use them for the people, but it's good enough and they're dry enough, and I think it'll be okay to use for the dog food, and it would probably be fine for people. I just didn't get it as dry as I'd like. It's not that old. I'm sure I could use it for people if I wanted, but I'm going to go ahead and use this. Now I'm going to take about a tablespoon here and put in there, and I'm keeping this in the fridge too, which also keeps it instead of on the shelf, because I do have some that I dried a little drier that I just have put away in a shelf. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of water to this. Somebody walking down the street. About maybe what's in an egg. Okay, and I'm going to let that mix that up real good. You see what I'm doing here. This is really hard with this camera setup I have, but I make do with what I have because I don't have a lot to buy the extra stuff like some of the channels may have. So I just do what I can on my channel. I mainly want to get the information out to share with the rest of you for ideas for you. Okay, now another thing is I was out getting water for my chickens, and underneath I found an egg on the ground. And I tried washing it off, but it stained pretty good, and I'm not real sure. I don't think it's been out there real long, and it's also been cold out there too. So it's probably okay, but I'm going to go ahead and use it in here as well. Yeah, that looks good, but if there's any question on food, I don't like getting sick. So dog stomachs have a little tighter than mine. Actually, I don't like giving them bad stuff either. And it's not really bad, but there is a question. And it's probably not that bad, but I can't, I just going to use it for them. Okay. So I mixed up those eggs quite a bit. Now, I've shown this in other videos before. This is my dog's dry mix. It's flour, almond or nut flour, also seed, salt, turmeric, and ground eggshells. Dogs need extra calcium. They also need extra fat, so the bacon grease in here is going to be really good because dogs need extra. And then the wet part that you add are your eggs, your water. You can have blueberries, sweet potatoes, carrots, peas. I don't have anything extra to use on that. Sometimes if I have some extra sweet potato I haven't used, I might put in for them because they like sweet potatoes. And then your bacon grease or oil, and you mix and bake them. Your dry and your wet that you've mixed together. But I'm going to pour a little in here now. In this batch, I have my flours and my ground up eggshells, and I also have like chia seeds in here. Okay, maybe I can put this where you can see it. So I'm mixing it up, and it looks like I might have got a little more flour than I needed. So what I'm going to do is add a little coconut milk, because that's the only milk I have right now. I could make some cashew milk. I used that all up to make some hot chocolate last night. But it's more like a dough right now, but I'm going to put just a little bit of coconut milk in that. And it adds a little, actually, instead of coconut milk, I've got some beef broth left in here that I need to use. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of beef broth. That'll give them a little more protein too. I don't want that to go to waste, so instead of milk this time I'm going to use beef broth. That'll give a little more flavor. Okay, and then I'm going to break up this bacon. You can see what I'm doing here. These were like bacon ends and pieces, and they're kind of salty, almost like a salt pork. Not quite as salty, but really salty. I think they were Black Forest ham bacon ends and pieces. I'm not sure, or Black Forest or something. They're a little more, I don't know, saltier. They're not hot spicy, but they just seem to have a little different flavor to them, which is fine. It's just these are a little bit freezer burnt because they've been in there for so long. Got stuff back in a corner and didn't get used. So that end is mostly meat. Boy, my hands are going to be greasy. I'll sure have to wash my hands. Not sure how I'm going to do that with the camera. I didn't think about that before I started tearing it up. I think I've got a napkin over here. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try to get my finger ungreased enough to turn off the camera for a minute. Okay, dogs need a little bit of greens too. So I have some greens from 2020 I need to use up. I'm going to put this in my bullet and powder it up a little. And then I'm going to put a little bit of that in their food. Okay, I got some powdered greens in here and the broken up bacon. I'm going to mix it with all of this. I'm wondering, I need to put a little bit more of that beef broth in it. I think I am going to loosen that. Just a tad more beef broth. Now this may not sound appetizing to you, but to a dog it should be pretty good. It's got a lot of little bacon in it, bacon grease, beef broth, and then all the other things. And there is some greens in here for them, lots of protein. Oh, I'm just in the way, I think, here. Let me see if I can bring this down a little. Maybe you can see more what I'm doing. Okay, I love these bowls with the lips. They're antique. They don't make them like this. They should, but they don't make things like they used to. The way they're old Pyrex, I think. But the way that they're made, stuff washes out of them really, really easy. And these are really old. Probably from the 60s or 70s. Got them at an antique store. I got a few, and then my sister got several for me, which I was thankful for because I use these all the time. All of the time. Now, it seems like there's a lot of grease in here, and there is. Make it a little crunchy on the outside. And I'm going to rinse that off real good before it dries, but There you go. Now I'm going to bake that for I'm going to bake it 30 minutes, and it may need another 10 minutes. We'll see. I'm going to bake it for my doggies. Okay, I'm going to rinse this before it dries on here and clean up my mess that I've got going. Lid back on here and put that away while that's baking. And it looks pretty almost like what I showed you when you take it out, but I'll go ahead and wait and show you what it looks like at the end when it's baked. And then what I do is I just cut little pieces and break it up into pieces and put in the dog dish, and then I put the rest in the fridge, and each day I'll give them a little bit. And I may warm it up a little, or if I have some extra gravy or something of some sort to pour on the top and warm it up, I'll do that, or just give it to them straight. But yeah, it's a yummy treat. Stretches stuff, extra things that you have. Stretches dog food and cat food's getting expensive. This, you use what you have left over. Don't throw away freezer burnt meat. If you've got animals or have a neighbor that has animals that you're close to, they wouldn't be offended if you gave it to them, or, however, if they're interested. But it is something you can do to stretch things, to use things, maybe give you some ideas, and I hope that you'll give me a thumbs up on this video if you like it. We need to be thrifty in this day and age, and I believe that's what the Lord teaches too, that we're to use what we have, to be thankful for what we have and not be wasteful, but be stewards of what God has given us. So there you go. And like I said, I will show you what it looks like at the end, and we will catch you all next time. Bye now. Okay, here's the finished product, and I'm just going to let it cool, and then I will cut a little slice, break it up into pieces, and give to my doggies. Anyway, I'll catch you guys all next time. Bye now.